guy that's in the Professional Football Hall of Fame named
This meeting is being recorded.
Boom! The only way Pete could stop Brian from talking was to throw the recording on. Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 55. This feels like a highly dedicated episode. We've got Oral Hershiser. We've got Junior Seau. We've got Carol Suggs. We've got Willie McGinnis. So many guys.
White chocolate, Jason Williams.
Let's give it to Jason Williams. I was going to give it to a double Ron Gant episode, my former favorite baseball player from the early 1990s, number 5 on the Atlanta Braves, Ron Gant. We're not 5 tonight, though, guys. We're only 4, per usual. This is Mike. I'm next to on my screen, my numero uno. Pete, how's Baltimore?
Oh, I'm above you on mine.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It's
Steve,
doing well. It's soggy here.
Yeah, here, too. A lot of rain. Steve, welcome back at the game of the week this week. Big week for you. Big night tomorrow. Have to be on the football field. How are things?
Things are great. Soggy up here too, man.
Who's Milford playing?
King Philip, number 1 versus number 2 in the state.
Wait, seriously?
What?
Yeah, how do they do football, Steve? Is it division size? How does it work these days?
Kind of a combo. So they're power rankings now that the MIA does to decide the state rankings.
And Milford's won?
Milford, yeah, they're really good.
Get out.
Look at that. Speaking of number 1, Case, welcome back. How was dinner tonight, Brian? What was on the menu?
Stuffed chicken, some sort of white fish, fingerling potatoes, salad.
What was the chicken stuff?
Standard banquet meals.
Oh, banquet food.
Oh,
what was the chicken? What was the chicken stuffed with?
I don't know, some sort of breading. It had like a fall tint to it, so a little apple in there.
Statler chicken.
Apples.
Apple, a little cinnamon maybe. I don't know.
See that?
Hey, Pete, what's
Cinnamon
your
apple
favorite thing?
chicken.
Pete, what's your favorite Thanksgiving side?
Oh, stuffing. Easily.
Me too. Meat or bread?
Bread.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you're kind of crazy if it's nothing else. Well, all right. Hey, welcome back, guys. Thursday night, we got some games to preview. I just turned the TV on and I told you guys, I thought the game just started. It was 0-0 and like 14 total yards. So I haven't missed much. Before we get into the preview for Thursday, Divitto, Case, we heard some feedback from the league. They seem to like the Tuesday night guest appearances. How do you think Andy was? What are your thoughts on the structure that we have, putting other people on the hot seat?
How do we talk about this?
Love the structure. Andy's history is a little faded. Last year's trade thing, I actually went back and checked the transcript because my text messages go back a long ways. I was hounding him for a good 2 weeks before we actually made that deal. So it's hard to see what was true and what was false from Tuesday's episode.
Now, that's true of every episode, Brian. Did you feel like you were under attack a little bit? There was a lot. I re-listened to it. We really had a couple of jabs at you, more than most people.
Good.
All right, good to hear. And Steve, you've been donned the worst traitor in the league.
Now, traitor or traitor?
I would think you're probably one of the best trainers. You could wrap an ankle, I bet.
Traitor.
No,
Steve,
not traitor. No, traitor. Traitor.
Wait a second now. If you were the trainer and someone said you have to wrap a joint, what would you feel most comfortable wrapping? Ankle, wrist?
I swear,
finger?
this conversation has happened the last 2 weeks. It's that, and what injury would you like to have the most?
I would trust if I twisted my ankle, I would trust you, Divitto, more than anybody else in the league to wrap my ankle.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Ross would be my second because of his.
Oh God.
Trader with a D, not T. You're a very loyal guy. I would never say
Good
that.
hand.
But you were coined by Divitto, the worst trader in the league. Do you think that resonates?
No, it's okay. I'll take it. I have a standard. I'll stick to it.
Well, I sent everyone in the league except Innes and Larkin a text last night because I was trying to make a move before the week. Still a couple of things ruminating out there. The worst response was easily Divitto's.
What happened? Uh-oh.
Oh, I texted the same thing I texted you. And Divitto goes, "What are you thinking?" I was like, "Oh, I just want to know if you do it."
You asked me if I wanted the guy. I said, "What are you thinking for a trade?"
My favorite response was Spaces. Early this morning, guy was up early, I could tell. And he said, "I don't think we can make a deal." And I said, "Thanks, CJ. I appreciate your candor."
Good for him.
Good for him. All right, Pete, we got week 6 on the horizon. Before we jump into week 6, let's hear, I re-listened to last Thursday. I think our order was off. So I think we need to wrap up week 5. And the only way to do that is to go to our stats man on the league, which is Brian Casey. And I will elongate this next sentence so that he can prepare for what he needs to do
Wait.
Case is below me.
Pete is the stats guy.
No,
Case is the standings guy.
I have no stats.
Standings.
I'm just so confused why I was thrown to me to throw to Casey.
I got confused. No. I meant to go to Casey, but I went to you. My brain's not working well. Let's go.
Mike is wiped. It's been a big week for him.
It's been a big week. Let's go to the standings guy. Brian Casey, we never heard how we did last week. Let's get a recap. How did we do on our picks? How did we do with our booms? How did we do with our locks? And where do we stand on our picks before we dive in to week 6? Oh, didn't even know it.
Really good week for the pod in our pick'ems this week. Mike continues his hot streak. Another 4-in-1 week, Mike, bringing you to an unbelievable 18-7 clip. That's 72% on the year.
You're good at something. You're good at something.
Lucky numbers. I was going to say, glad I'm winning in this pool.
Yeah.
Pete continues to remain consistent. A 3-2 week. He lost out on the Breen and Lloyd picks. Still 17-8. One game behind Mike overall. 68% clip.
Another clip.
He's going to say clip
Divitto-
on the next one.
What a clip.
Divitto continues to fall from grace, going 2-3 on the week. Abysmal week for Steve.
Dismal.
You're going to wake up
Hanging
your
in
son.
there
You're going to wake up your
16-9
son.
with a pretend 3-2 week 1 with a 64%, and rounding out the week 5-0.
Hey,
Time. Brian got all 5. He got all 5 of his 3 of his superlative as well. Bringing up
Wow.
Check the tape on that one.
13-12.
wait, Case, you picked the boom, the lock, and the upside too.
I got the boom, I got the upset, and I got the lock.
Did anybody else get the boom? Anybody else pick Divitto?
DeLuca picked Divita. Nope, that's it. I was the only boom.
And how do we do on our upset picks? I know I had Spates in my upset. I got that win. Who else do we all have?
You did
I
not
do,
have
Mike, I
space
lost.
to pick yourself in the upset, Mike. You
No.
picked space boom.
Oh, right. I picked Spates. He technically was an upset, so I think I
Boy.
should get
The
credit
only
for
other
that.
one we got was our locks. DeLuca had Divita to lock. Me and you had Divito to lock. DeVito had DeLuca to lock naturally.
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 Did you win last week, Pete? Yeah, you won.
Heck yeah.
All
He
right.
won because I picked
Look.
him.
Case, thanks for those stats. Glad to hear that things
Well-
are back. Yes. Yep.
Cue DeVito fantasy team joke after this, but DeVito's still the only one that hasn't had a 5-0 week. Kind of like your
I
fantasy
wish we had
team.
sound effects right now. I'd love to hear crickets from Pete.
There you go.
You gotta tee him up a little bit better than that. That was a poor attempt for an assist.
I beat him to the punch, Mike. I beat him to the punch because he has the same comeback.
You had no punch.
Oh,
Good try, though.
This is why people like Tuesday nights. All right, speaking of Thursday nights. Speaking of Thursday nights, Pete, we're on the precipice of week 6. This is the first bye week in the NFL.
yeah.
Thankfully, there's a bye tonight on television as well. But
Awesome.
let's get into it. A really, really good game of the week. We got two guys whose name ends in vowels. I'm sure they got called the wrong name many times in high school. It's the difference between an A and an O, but we got our two vowel guys here. The number 1 seeded 5-0 Blue Bloods Divita dynasty led by Andy Divita against the Bungles, who continue to coast its way into a 4-1 record. Can Divito take down Divita in the battle of the vowels? Let's hear the preview.
Pick your vowel. It is
Pick your vowel. The
Are you
Vanna
a-
White Ball. Pete, it's a Vanna White Ball.
Are you a toe or a ta? All right. DeVito, actually, Steve, he has the advantage, 7-3 over Andy in the last 5 years. Steve swept him last year. Regardless of the history, Andy has outscored Steve in 3 of the last 4 weeks this season. 1 week, the 1 week that Steve did outscore him, he did it by a point. So it really wasn't been much. So also in DeVita's last 3 wins, if you take out Derrick Henry's 33, 30, and 9 points, he still would have buried Steve in all 3 of those weeks. So I don't want to hear anything about King Henry having the week off. I'm going to take Andy. I'm riding with this one until the wheels fall off. And I think he's going to boom. So I'm going with him.
Whoa, booming on his bye week. An interesting pick. Cousin really riding with the family. I think
Isn't
that's
that very
Vin
much
Diesel.
an Andy move? I think that's an Andy move.
I can't believe you like that Vin Diesel comment, Case.
No, I feel bad for Steve.
Oh,
Wait,
it's
I don't know.
okay.
If you, wait, did you
Go ahead,
catch that? I looked at all the stats. I took out Derrick Henry from all of things. And DeVita still would outscore DeVito in 3 of those last 4 weeks. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. Team's been really good. So, Steve, I don't want you to go next. I want Case to go next. But when I go to you, what team do you want to talk about? Your own team, or do you want Case to talk about your team? I'll give you the choice. Floor is yours.
I'll defer to Case. No, I'll defer to Case. Go ahead, bud.
Mike, say the question again.
Steve, can you just say if you want to talk about your team or you want Case to talk about your team? It's your choice.
It's like a coin flip. I'm deferring. I got a choice, but I'm deferring.
Wasn't an option. All right, that wasn't an option. Brian, I'm going to let Steve talk about his team then. Case, I'm going to bring you into Divitto's team. He is the hottest team in the league. He's won 5 straight. He's making moves. Even this week, he made a late week move, picked up Hayden Hurst, threw him in the lineup, and put J.D. McKissick on the bench, which seems like the right move now. He's got a Q sitting on the board with a Gage, but Gage likely is going to play. Give us where you think Divitto stands, and can he somehow get a win on a week where he's got a couple of key starters on a bye?
Yeah, I give Divitto a ton of credit. He's in it and he's making moves. He's made more moves in this last week than I think he made all last year combined.
I think you're right.
Except for the trades. So we obviously heard his strategy. He's a trader more so than a waiver guy. That came out on Tuesday's episode. So it's good to know moving forward. I like the Hurst pickup, especially if on Divitto's roster, if Higgins is out, they're going to need him in the middle of the field to take some pressure off Chase. I'm with Divitto on this one. I'm with Pete on this one. I'm going to ride this one till it fails. I'm with Divitto. No boom this week because the buys are going to hurt the overall score, but I like him to win this week.
All right, Steve, you got 2 guys against you to start before we get your pick and analyzed. We got a couple key cues on your lineup. Cup, I think Cup's playing. I think it's more of a precautionary cue, but I'd like to
questionable cue.
Maintenance day.
Godwin, I think Godwin's going to be Q. Godwin's going to be Q all season, and then Higgins is the big one. Do you think you have the lineup set in the right way, and assuming Higgins doesn't play, or what's your take on the game and who's your pick?
I don't know if the lineup is set. To be honest with you, I want to see what happens with Higgins tomorrow. See if he gets in a limited session or not. I wouldn't be shocked if he sits this week at all. I don't think he's going to play. So I think Higgins is out. And then, I think Kittle. I really like Kittle this week at Atlanta. I think he's going to have a pretty big week. So the other thing I think is going to hurt Divitto in this matchup is Jacobs not playing. I think Jacobs is actually a big guy.
You know, Josh Jacobs has been the number 4 running back
big guy
this year.
Yeah. He's a little guy, but he's been playing big.
Steve, do you worry you've missed every week on DK Metcalf and he's due for a stinker in your lineup and one of these bench guys is going to go up?
I would normally say yes, but with Lockett getting hurt at practice today, I don't think there's really anyone else to throw the ball to in that lineup. So,
and Arizona stinks.
Yes.
Hey! Don't talk about Kyler like that. All right, Steve, are you picking yourself on Divitto's bye week, or where are we going? Oh, Fields looks hurt. Sorry,
Fields is down.
I am. I'm taking myself this week. Even with the buys with Divitto, Hurst does have a groin injury, so that's something to keep track of. And Gage has been hurting with his ankle injury too, so that could hold him up there. So
if Hurst, if Hurst's quad was hurt, I'd be more comfortable picking Divitto, because you said quads are better than runs.
The groin injury.
I know, but it's not his quad; it's his groin. I actually like Divitto this week as well. I've been pretty hot picking Steve the right week. I don't want him to feel alone. I know he doesn't like when Case and DeLuca gang up on him. I think I like a couple of your matchups this week. I really like the Cup play. I think that's going to be a decently high-scoring game because Carolina's going to hopefully do something. And then I really like the A.J. Brown play on Sunday night. I think that's a fun game and nice that you have the last guy playing. I always like the last guy playing. I'll take you. No superlatives for me in this game, everyone. This is just a straight-up standard play. I'm taking Divitto over Divitto. Any last comments? Nope. No last comments. Steve, good luck. I hope things work out for you. We'll see how it turns out, as they say in the biz. Game 2 of the what?
As they say in the biz. Game 2.
Game 2.
See how it turns
Pete,
out.
you're the second seed. You get game 2, buddy.
Great.
Pete versus Spates, tall versus short, loud versus quiet, funny versus not funny. Pete, I can tell you confidently which one you are in every one of those analogies. Let's see.
Loud versus quiet.
Oh, he's quiet.
What, CJ?
Compared to you, yeah, he's not funny either.
Oh, well, that's
not an easy comparison.
You didn't say funny and not
funny.
funny.
To anybody.
Yeah, you said loud and not loud. 10
I
out
think
of
I
10
said
would
why.
agree. Funny and more funny.
4 out of 5 dentists agreed, but that's okay. You're the 2 seed. You're the second game of the week. Let's hear what you got going on and who you're picking.
I am 5-4 against CJ in the last 5 years. We split last year. And that was a 158-150 week 14 loss that ended his season. So I don't know if what CJ's plan is, but I'm going to say that he's taking it personal. That's just my own opinion.
He probably is. He feels
Maybe.
like a take it personal type of guy.
He made me pretty upset after the Michael Thomas trade, after violating the guy code and talking about private trades in public. So I'm going to take this one personally too. So myself, it is the lock of the week. I'm picking myself.
Pete, I'd love to hear your take, because sometimes we talk pretty casually about, what we talked about. We make Divitto tell us what he's talking about, check text. What do you think the rule is on like the trade police? Like what's allowed, what's not allowed, what's kosher, what's no. I also felt a little bit like, it's a little much for me. Little over the line, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't like talking about trades in public at all. I like to keep it private.
Do you get upset with me when I make people talk about them on the podcast?
No, I mean, if they're cool with talking about it, that's fine. It's just it's an own personal opinion. Yeah.
You think if I said, hey, Divitto, remember when you texted me that trade and offered me 2 guys like that, you'd be like, dude, you didn't even ask me if we wanted to do that. You think that's.
Well, I think when I approach somebody with a trade, there's a game plan behind that. So I don't like you blowing up my game plan to everybody else. So if you do that, you're pretty much off the list. And I have a pretty strict no fly list, who I trade with and who I don't.
You really have someone on this league you won't trade with?
Yeah, I have a bunch of people.
No.
Yeah.
But you make trades with everybody. Case, do some research around who DeLuca hasn't made a trade with in the last couple weeks for next week.
Who he doesn't trade with? He doesn't trade with Breen. He doesn't trade with
he just traded with Breen.
He just made a trade with Breen.
Christian.
Oh,
he just traded with Breen.
He said it on the pod. I think it's a revolving list.
Yeah, I think DeLuca's got a very short memory. The only thing
I don't think there's any absolutes. Let's put it that way.
I agree. All he's asking for is trade consent. That's it. He just wants to be able to say yes. So Steve, you teased an injury in Pete's game and on Pete's roster with Lockett. Pete's got 2 big Qs sitting right there, and they're important ones because one guy he just traded, in many people in the league's opinion, too much for. I think it's a little too soon to have that opinion personally.
Let's talk about this.
Go ahead.
This is a real soft spot. Don't do it.
Well, I'm just giving you my take. You don't know my take. My take is anytime someone makes a trade, I think it is irresponsible to react that quickly, and I find it to be very, very sideline coaching. No, because coaches coach on the sideline.
with no rationale at all, everyone starts giving their opinion. I would love.
It's very Monday morning quarterback, Mike.
I would love to plead my case on that trade.
Let's hear it, Pete. Go.
All right.
Yours.
Why Michael?
All I know is that on that text chain, I got a little uncomfortable, and you can't measure tone on text, but I could picture how Pete was saying everything that he was saying.
The sideline coach comment is killing me right now.
I think coaches are only on the sidelines. I think it works so for. All right, sorry, let's go. Pete, floor is yours. Talk about the trade and your reaction to the trade. Were you as heated as Case thinks you were?
I'll go quickly because no one cares about this stuff. But
I do. Pete, wait a second. I care.
I would not be shocked about how many people would care about this.
That is true.
We don't want to sideline coach this, Pete. You go.
I don't know if anybody. Case, I think that might be a you and a me thing. I don't know if they know what that is.
One of the reasons why I got so mad at Spates and why I'm taking this matchup very personally is because I make this like I develop a trade offer. I'm going to give you X for what X for Y. And I take that trade to pretty much every single manager. So Spates coming out and being like, that was a stupid offer. It's like, dude, I offer the same. I offer trades to every single person. So don't speak out of line. Anyway, and I offer it to him with like the least amount of faith that he's ever going to reply. So why Michael Thomas? I have 4 reasons. Number 1, I have a deep roster, unlike Spates. So when Michael Thomas is a surprise inactive, I can bump him out and put someone very quality in, which I'm probably planning on doing this weekend. This is a trade that helps me now. I'm playing CJ this week. Michael Thomas was rumored to come back around the time that Chris Olave got knocked out cold. So I was talking to Breen around that point, and I thought, wow, Olave's going to miss it. I'm going to get Taylor. That will be a guy lost for Spates, a guy gained for me, a week 6 gain right there. It helps me later. It affects Breen. I'm playing Breen in week 7. All my Ravens are on a bye, and I get Michael Thomas from him. That's one guy he cannot play. And it helps me long term. Michael Thomas has a contract where he makes $1 million a year. Next year, that bumps up to $15 million with incentives for 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns. Those are attainable stats for the last 2 years of his contract before he becomes a free agent. So it helps me this year. It helps me this week. It helps me long term. And I gave up 2 first-round picks.
Wow, Pete, I want you to be my publicist. That was
saying,
great.
Spates doesn't even know what he's talking about. I'm in a different league, and I'm going to use Michael Thomas to annihilate him and end his season.
Love it. So, Steve, can he use Michael Thomas this week? Get us the injury update. Is he back? Is Lockett back? Spates has got Gordon in with a Q tag. Olave on the bench, so a lot of injuries to work through. Give us what your take is on the game, who plays and who your pick is.
Well, my sideline coaches take it that Thomas is not going to play.
Not going to play. Oh. Wait, you think him and Olave are? You think Olave does make it back?
Olave, it said, was doing some football activities, but I wouldn't bet on him playing at all.
Wow.
Would you be?
I think New Orleans is in trouble in the wide receiver area. Ergo, I like Kamara this week because I think he's going to get 15 targets.
Do you think Jarvis Landry is going to play this week?
I don't like that take at all.
So I'm very sorry to hear
Who do you think the top receiver in New Orleans is going to be this week?
Might be Taysom Hill.
Might be Marquez
That's
Callaway.
sadly true. That's sadly true.
Oh, no.
Tyler Lockett. So Lockett got hurt today, but they said it was minor. So I do think Lockett ends up playing.
Wait, you just made it seem like 10 minutes ago Lockett got knocked out of the practice.
He just said Michael Thomas is playing. Michael Thomas is definitely playing.
He left practice with a hamstring issue, but I think he's going to end up playing, but he could be limited.
Yeah, I just want you to know, Steve, you made
That's
that.
a seesaw, Steve. That's a seesaw.
Yeah, way more dramatic.
It's not a seesaw.
Get
no
your flip-flops
seesaw.
off. Get your flip-flops off.
Steve, when you re-listen to the tape, when you were talking about DK Metcalf, and I know it's your team, so you over-glamorized it a bit. Fine, I picked you this week. I'm on your side. You made it seem like when you talked about Metcalf that Lockett blew his leg off and he wasn't going to play. Case,
You want to talk about being drama? I said he got hurt at practice today, which is only going to help Metcalf's stock.
Mike, stop being drama.
Oh, I'm just re-listening to the tape. All I'm saying, put the coach on the sideline, listen to the tape. Go ahead, Steve.
Melvin Gordon's going to play.
Drama.
Gordon is going to play for CJ.
Is he?
So yeah. I like the one guy I like for Pete this week is Ertz. I really do like the Ertz play against Seattle. I think that's a really nice play. Seattle's defense is not very good against the pass, so I like that idea.
Steve, if everyone's in, who do you put Ertz in?
Right now, Ertz is on the bench. Who do you take? You assume Thomas or Lockett is out, and he puts Ertz in. That's your assumption?
That, or I would take Deontay Johnson out against Tampa Bay.
Oh, really? I like it. I just think they're going to be losing. They got to throw to something.
No, I hear you, but yeah. I mean, last week they were losing. He went 5 for 60. So I think Pickens, with Pickett in, I think Pickens is the preferred target there.
Yeah. So if you had to pick between Pickens and Pickett, but to pick Pickens, Pickett, or Lockett, who would you have in?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Pickett's a quarterback.
Thank you.
Sorry. But
I love picking Pickens for my dumpster dive.
I like Pickens. Steve, I think Pickens is a good play this week.
Make your pick. Steve, who's your pick this game?
This is my upset. I have CJ this week.
Oh.
Sorry, bud.
Dead to me.
He's done.
I actually am shocked.
So
the reason why I say that is because I think Spates' starting lineup is the healthiest out of the two. So that is my reasoning. Marquise Brown, I think, goes off this week for Arizona.
Revenge
last week before Hopkins comes back.
So, Case, interesting game structure here. Pete likes to talk about how the game is going to go. Pete has everybody but one at the moment playing at 1 o'clock. So he's going to come out of the gates and put his number on the board. Spates has at the moment 2 Monday night guys. And so the way the game is going to flow, it's going to be interesting where these guys are going to be on a nearly 24-hour hiatus between Pete's roster locking and Spates waiting until Monday night. So what do you think the difference is going to be, if at all, between Sunday and Monday? Do you think these are the right starting lineups, and who's your pick?
I'll tell you what, one thing I've learned in fantasy is that it's hard to stop a motivated Pete DeLuca. When he has an edge, don't get in the way. It's scary. It's like a freight train from hell. No, the one thing I do like this week, Pete, is I think that the Packers are going to bounce back after last week's poor showing. And like we talked about, I think last week, the wide receiver tends to benefit from that QB opposite wide out, stack, switcheroo, whatever you call it. So I think Lazard's actually going to be really good this week, working against CJ's quarterback. I think that Lamar is going to have a big bounce back game. He didn't score well last week. The guy's motivated. I do like CJ's team, but I don't like some of the plays this week. Like, I don't think Gordon with Denver, with that offense right now on Monday is going to be much of a factor at all. Hopefully chasing points against the Chargers, just hoping that maybe Keenan can come back and cut into Mike Williams' workload. So I'm taking a motivated Pete DeLuca this week with my pick.
Always motivated. When did you?
Yeah, no, just so you guys know, I'm not analyzing.
Extra motivated?
I'm not analyzing this game. You know when your wife comes home from work and your wife goes out and she comes back and she's upset about something, right? She's like, here's what happened. What do you think? She goes out to dinner. Blah, blah, blah. She comes home and she says, can you believe this? Doesn't even matter. Can you believe this? It doesn't matter what my wife says next. I'm going to say to her, I agree with you, honey. There's no way they should have done that. And tonight, Pete, there's no way you should have been disrespected like that. Pete's my lock. Let's go, Pete. No one puts baby in a corner. Game number 3. Cannot believe the Super Bowl rematch is game number 3, and the loser of this game will fall 2 games under 500. At the moment, I have Mike Boone in, so we'll see how that goes. Really hoping Kadarius Toney's hamstrings come back. Pete, give us the preview. Last year's Super Bowl champion Innis, who dominated me in the finals. Will he dominate me this week in week 6? Give us a preview.
Yeah, are you having flashbacks or no?
No, I don't have flashbacks. I live in the moment.
Last 5 years, Mike is 5-4 against Jeff. That includes going 4-1 against him since 2019. So you had his number recently. But any team that picks up Tevin Coleman is no fan of mine. So, Mike, I have a question. How do you feel about losing a fab offer by $1 on Eno Benjamin to Christian?
Had it for like 40, and I'm like, no one's going to put this in, so I moved it to 11. I'm so upset about it. Go ahead, sorry.
All right, so my pick. Mike is cold, but I don't know. I don't know if it's time to hit the panic button yet. We noted the other day he has the hardest schedule, so he's playing a lot of teams that matter. So he really only has one bad loss, and that was to Christian. So again, by the way, lose from every year. However, I have some inside information, some breaking news.
Oh, is it about Mike Boone?
Jeff Innis is home alone all week. Okay.
Oh,
that means no fiance, no kids, endless amount of times to study, and no hurricanes. I don't like the vibe over on the Calvin Drive. I'm going to go with Innis on the upset.
You know my parents don't live on Calvin Drive anymore?
They don't, right? That's too bad. My sister ran over your mailbox.
Steve Rouser ran over my mailbox too. It was
a poorly placed mailbox.
Remember that? He did. And then he's like, I didn't do it. I'm like, Steve, I saw you.
I backed into it one time in high school too.
Saw you run over my mailbox.
It was in the worst spot.
All right, Steve, I need your help with my roster. I have so many Qs on the board that it's becoming a little hard for me to field one, and I don't even know who to drop because at the moment Mike Boone is my best option. So Barkley, I think, is fine. Most I'm hoping is okay, and it's a maintenance couple days. Boone seems okay. Tony's hamstrings likely aren't attached to his body anymore. Give us the take on what's going on with my team. Huge one for Innis with Taylor. I thought he was out, but now he apparently might be back in. Talk about the injuries for us.
Yeah, what's going on?
I actually think that helps you if Taylor somewhat is limited in plays, Mike.
Do you think he plays?
All right, wait your turn, Steve. Jeez.
Oh, it's his turn.
This is my turn.
Oh, sorry.
He's currently upset that I didn't pick him. There's a string here.
I'm a little upset with you.
I'll have to talk about this afterwards.
It's a tough week.
All of your Qs are fine, Mike. All your Qs are fine. Barkley, Mostert, and Boone are all fine.
I wish the lowercase q was a cooler letter, by the way. Sorry, go ahead, Steve.
Why? It's a very cool letter.
No, I don't agree. It's a backwards G. Like, what a boring letter. Sorry.
Would you like them to, in Yahoo, to put, like, if they think he's going to be okay, to Q positive?
No, I wish they didn't get rid of the P tag.
The P was pointless. The Patriots made it pointless. Wow, what a tough sentence to say.
Hey, nice one, Pete.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor, actually, that Q for him coming back to practice today, I think actually can hurt Innis a little bit. Because if Taylor plays and is not 100% and splits time, That could absolutely come back to bite Duddy. So I think Duddy would prefer, in a really weird way, at home against Jacksonville that he doesn't play. So he's not worrying about if Taylor re-injures himself or splits time, whatever the case may be. But no matter what, Mike, I'm sorry. I'm going with Ennis this week as well.
Case, I need your help with my roster here, amigo.
Yeah, you do.
Before we get to that, Mike, before we get to that, do you know that Steve Divitto has picked Pete DeLuca 13 of the last 14 weeks?
Oh.
And I think I stopped counting when I found.
Why are we going back to this one again? We're on a
stopped-
completely different
I
game.
stopped when I got to 14. It was 13 times, but I think it might be like 17 and 19.
It's like
Okay, so you're a
the one
game
that he
above
picks himself
500.
over me. The one.
I think he did. He beat you too. Case, I don't know what to do. At the moment, I honestly am playing Mike Boone. Like the reality of my situation at the moment is Mike Boone. There's a couple of guys I kind of like on the waiver wire, but I'm contemplating. I'm talking through my case, and I want you to help me. There's a couple of guys in the waiver wire I'm contemplating what to do. I didn't mind the Tevin Coleman pickup because if Jeff Wilson gets hurt, he scored 2 touchdowns last week. I wouldn't mind holding him. Tell me what to do, Bri. I knew week 6 was going to be a hard one. I really wish I wasn't 2-3, and I wish I was 3-2.
Yeah, Mike, I wish I could give you some wisdom here, but I think this is one you just got to sort of chalk up as an L and move forward because your bench is playing already with all your starters out on buys. Tevin Coleman played, but it's because they were up so big, and Wilson already went for like 120 and a touch as well. So he got garbage time touchdowns last week. So yeah, I don't really like your roster. Ennis might be getting healthy. Ennis just playing Jeff Wilson for the first time ever.
I don't like your roster. I don't like your roster.
I don't like
you
either of
should.
This is why people like Tuesday nights.
It's a 1-4. Ennis is playing Jeff Wilson for the first time after taking him for $100 fab a couple weeks ago.
Whole time.
He's probably going to get hurt.
I'm taking Ennis as my upset, Mike. I don't have much for you. I'd say go back to the waiver wire if you can, or make a trade because.
Yeah, clearly. Why don't you go pick up
like garbage.
Randall Cobb or something? Just play.
No. There's a couple guys who I might pick up on the Coleman spot. Not Randall Cobb.
Yeah, Gallup's a little bit of a dart throw. See if he can come back this week. Tyreek not having a third string quarterback is going to obviously hurt him a little bit, like one of your marquee guys.
I'm hoping Higgins is out. If Higgins is out, that helps my case. That's my hope.
You need some of that stuff for some of your risky plays to sort of pan out a little bit. But I think it's a tough matchup.
I have a serious question, and Mike, you
of course.
you don't need to answer it or not. But like honestly,
Pete, any question you ask me.
Why would you pick up and play Tevin Coleman, a guy who isn't on a team and was on a practice squad and then got like signed, over like a wide receiver like Randall Cobb, who's like Aaron Rodgers' best friend in an offense where he just caught a ton of passes, and you're like, no.
So, easy answer. The upside for a guy like Tevin Coleman, if Jeff Wilson gets hurt, who always gets hurt, if Jeff Wilson
and Tevin Coleman in the same sentence.
Time out. You asked me a question.
You're banking on him getting hurt in the game, though.
No, I'm not going to play Tevin Coleman this week. I picked up Tevin Coleman because history says Kyle Shanahan's starting running back is a super viable fantasy option.
But isn't there a stronger history that Tevin Coleman is a terrible backup?
Yeah, but Jeff Wilson's not good, and he was good the last 2 weeks. I would know. If the
backup, he's a backup's backup.
No, he's not though. He's a second string running back right now in the 49ers.
Well, I'm just saying he's Elijah, then Jeff, then Tyron Davis, Prince, and then him.
But that's what I'm saying though, Brad. It doesn't matter who the running back is. Like in the NFL, they're all running backs. They're all the same, unless they're really good.
Answer, and I didn't.
No, it is. The reason why is when you don't let me answer. Like it takes me a while to answer. My wife just finished Wordle.
Tough one today. Or no, yesterday was really tough.
She got it in 3. She got it in 3.
I got it today. Yesterday I didn't get it. It was hard.
I think my wife cheats on me because I use a similar start word. So I picked up Tevin Coleman long term.
What's your start word?
I can't share that.
Why not?
I can't share that. I may not have Tevin Coleman on my roster.
SHARE. Share. Is that a code?
Just saying. I unfortunately have to pick Jeff this week. I wish I could take my guys.
Oh, Mike.
Week 6 was a week I knew I was in trouble. I was trying to move Brandon Cooks to somebody in this league. He is like a legit starting wide receiver. No one seems to want to trade me a viable player to me except DeLuca. Haven't made a decision on what to do with that offer. Pete, I won't spoil it. I won't say what the offer was. You're the only person who gave me what I was looking for.
I make good trades. That's what I do.
Mike,
I know you do.
Trades.
In fairness, we didn't really have a chance to get it off the ground once you looked at my.
Once I looked at Casey's roster, him and Lloyd were in the same, but I didn't even text Lloyd. He had nobody who I could have used. So I was like, I'm busy.
I'll divulge this one. Hey, I got Cooks. I need a 1-for-1 for a bye week. Oh wait, all your guys are on buys too. Never mind.
I think I said they're all on buys or hurt. So let me say one quick thing about Jeff's team. So he's been very unlucky injury wise, but I do think if his team, he is poised to make a little bit of a run. The key two guys, obviously, are Taylor and Dak. I think if you're going to catch him in a week that he could be vulnerable, Divitto is right. If Taylor is out or limited, this could be one of those weeks to catch him just because there's still a lot of volatility. It's just a tough week for me. I love to pick the guys. I almost always pick myself, but I'll take Jeff this week, and he's my upset as well. Speaking of an upset, I think everyone's upset with the effort this guy's been putting out. Darian, game number 4, takes on Breen in the Boring Bowl. Breen, Darian, seed 4 versus seed 8.
Who would sponsor the Boring Bowl?
Exactly. Brown paper bag. I think the paper bag bowl last year is what I called it.
Paper bag bowl. That was a terrible.
On Phonics.
Which one is this? Who are we talking about? These guys?
Breen and the Darian.
Breen and the Darian. Who cares?
Kevin.
All right.
We have to preview it. We have to preview the game.
So they're tied 5-5 in the last 5 years, but Breen swept last year, but the Darian won 4 straight before that. So kind of an all the Darian thing there. Looking at the rosters, Breen has to call up Alec Pierce from the JV team to make the start. So I'm kind of excited about that. That's like an old-fashioned Brad Boyd call up. As a Ravens fan, I'll give you guys inside information. I don't think Dobbins is very good at all. And I think that Breen's playing a mistake playing him. I don't think that he's got a good role there, and I don't think he's ready for it yet.
Health-wise, you think health-wise, you don't think he's fully recovered?
I don't think he's fully recovered, and I don't think that the coaching staff is willing to push him yet. So I think that it's going to be a rough road for him. Just watching the game and hearing the news around here, it doesn't seems like it's more Kenyon Drake going forward.
Are they waiting for Gus to come back?
They are actually. They have a lot. They do love Gus.
Pick him up.
You still have him, Casey? You didn't cut him yet?
No, I picked him up. I actually picked him up last week, hoping that would be like some secret sauce for me on my bench, just some karma. It didn't work.
So one team scored 50 points, and the other one is Breen. So I'm picking Breen.
Steve, not a lot of cues on the board here, so let's just get your take on the game. Not an exciting one. What are you doing with it?
Move along. I'm taking Breen.
Whoa!
No pause. No.
Light it back next week.
Case, to you.
Is it bad that I didn't even put in a bid for Eno Benjamin and I have James Conner?
I was worried you weren't.
Yes.
I was worried you weren't trying. In all honesty, yes.
Yeah, busy week. I'll take Breen. Lock.
Busy week
So,
across the board.
I thought I was gonna look at this game, and I looked at it literally like 4 minutes ago. So, and be like, oh, Breen, lock it in. He's my boom. Because I was pumped up about Stevenson. I love Allen against the Chiefs. I don't love the Dobbins play. I don't love the Pierce play.
JV call up.
And
Doesn't matter. He's playing a freshman team.
I don't think it matters.
I think this game's closer than we think, folks. I'm
You
going
guys
to
think
take.
we'll catch a ball this time?
Case, can you put Breen as my lock too, please?
Yep.
Mike, he already has a running back that has 3 points.
I try not to take into account and affect what happens on the Thursday night game. Obviously, if Montgomery does this, it's not going to help. I think this game is closer than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to take Breen for the win, call it a clean sweep. He won't be my lock because I'm saving my lock for the game against somebody.
You already have your lock in.
Who is it? Oh, Pete. I lock Pete. Sorry. Never mind. Pete's my lock. Pete's my lock.
3 locks this week.
Pete's my lock. Pete's my lock. Pete's my lock.
Double
Pete,
deadbolts.
Pete, you're my lock. Pete, you're my guy.
He's my
What?
double deadbolt.
Lock.
Last game of the week. Statistically, the worst game or one of the worst games we will see all season. Last year's number 1 seed against last year's number 10 seed. This year's number 10 seed. Next year's number 10 seed. And the following year's number 10 seed because the guy doesn't make moves. Welcome to the team, Geno Smith. Thanks, Dan. Pete, give us the preview of the Toilet Bowl, sponsored by Clorox.
Kohler.
American Standard.
There you go, Steve.
There you go. Yeah, it's last place Casey against really last place Larkin. Casey is 8-2 against Lloyd, and he's won 4 straight. So you're pretty hot there, Casey, against the absolute worst manager in the league. The stats are starting to pile up for KC. So are the losses. At least his mailing you stuff that isn't funny budget is very healthy. So tough matchups for KC, especially the Monday Night Football stack against Denver. I think that's going to be Patrick Surtain's coming out party. For a pick, I think Lloyd is swinging for the fences, and I'm going to go with not just picking Lloyd, but I'm going to make a hot take. I think he's going to win 3 in a row, and this is the start of a 3-game winning streak for Lloyd. Goes here with Casey, then he goes to Darian, and then he goes Spates. I think he's going to get it straightened out, win 3 in a row. We're going to say, maybe Lloyd is trying.
That's an insane take. But thanks, Pete. Case.
Beat them both
Pete,
last year.
Case. I'm going to go to you first, even though you have a lot of cues, and I want to get Steve's take on your injuries. Were you insulted at all by the fact that DeLuca claimed your sending things in the mail joke is not funny? I defended it, by the way. I love the joke. Love the bit. Stay dedicated.
Thank you.
I do a Twitter poll, but only you 2 vote.
We would. That'd be 100% Case. We would tweet that one.
I'll put that up afterwards. Yeah. Pete's got this thing where if he says, like, you needed the whole person to report it to the league so everybody knows for it to be funny. Like, I don't get the enjoyment out of having everybody know what I send or what I don't send. It's meant to poke at the guy that receives. That's all I know. And I know he gets it, so I'm good. Like,
why don't you concentrate on winning first?
I know. I sent it last year when I won, and I send it when I lose, Pete. Okay, I'm consistent. I've only won 1 game this year. It wasn't against you, so you didn't get anything.
Consistently inconsistent, Case. It's right where you want to be, buddy.
Well, Steve, Case at the moment, Steve at the moment has been very consistent with, sorry, I think I said Steve twice. Steve, Brian has been very consistent at the moment with staying injured.
Yes.
Connor, Jacoby, Keenan. There's so many guys across his roster that have Qs next to him. Do you think he can play the folks that he has in there right now? Give us the analysis of his injuries, and then give us your pick when you do that.
Case, who is your backup if Allen plays on Monday? So if he gets there and they rule him out at the end, you going to try and pick someone up?
I got Pollard on Sunday night, so I'll hopefully make the call before then.
So, no. What I'm saying is if they get to Monday.
No, I understand. I'm going to make the call Sunday night.
He's a game time call. Are you going to try and pick someone up for that potential spot or no?
I'll play Pollard on Sunday night if it's a game time decision.
All right, you're not getting what I'm saying. All right, never mind.
No, he is. He just answered the question twice.
Did I answer? Thank you. Did I answer the question?
No, I'm saying if he's a game time decision and the decision comes on Monday night.
Pollard on Sunday night.
All he's saying
Pollard is already played.
No.
The injury designation
Let me do it.
Saturday.
Let me do it. Steve, Steve, what Brian is saying is he knows that Keenan is going to be a game time on Monday. What he's going to do is monitor the news between now, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. And then on Sunday, see what they're saying about Keenan, seeing what his availability is like, and he'll then make a read. Did he practice? Did he not practice? And then he'll make the decision Sunday night before his backup Pollard is in. So he knows there's a little risk, and it doesn't sound like he's going to pick anybody else up. He'd likely ride with Pollard if he feels like, or maybe even he'll look at the game standings and see how his team's doing and see if he has. I think that's.
I fully appreciate that explanation, Mike. That's what I understand that. My point is, if it stays the same right now, and he is questionable going into Monday night, and nothing changes, that's what I'm asking.
Day by day changes day by day. The world changes day by day, Steve.
All right.
Right, Brian? Right, Brian?
So
hold on.
Minute by minute.
Myers plays.
Let me take a crack at it based on Steve just defined it.
Second by second.
If it stays the way it stays right now, like the injury report stays the same for the next 3 days, I'm playing Pollard. If it changes to a game time decision, I'm changing to Pollard. If he's going to play, I'll play him.
Okay. So Myers plays. Connor is not.
Thanks. Sorry.
Who?
Myers is Mike's back on his team right now. Myers is going to play. Connor is not. He's not playing. Even if he does, Case, I don't know how you play him, considering he's going to be in a definite split.
I haven't looked at my lineup. I haven't changed anything. I'm going to pull him out.
Yeah.
Are you confident this week, Case? Like, are you not looking at it because you're like, it's low?
No, Pete, I have no reason to be confident about anything. At all.
So I'm picking Lloyd. I picked myself to beat Andy. This is the week of first win, first loss for those two teams at the top and the bottom. I'm taking Lloyd as well.
You want him to boom, Steve? Because you need a boom.
No, I'm not taking him to boom. Sorry.
No problem.
You should see this guy. I might pick up the play on Sunday. This is just garbage. Case, I don't understand what happened to your team. Your team was good last year. You guys played really well. Your team is garbage. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know where your good players went, but I'm picking you this week for a couple reasons. One, I think there's a lot of vitriol against this game on Monday night. Like, even if Keenan's out, you got a great stack. The Herbert Eckler stack is great. I love Dalvin Cook this week. I think he's going to play well. The guy I'm most worried about that I'm surprised Steve didn't get into is Connor. Even if Connor plays, I don't see a big game. I'm not picking Lloyd, dude. I'm not picking the guy.
Were you listening when I spoke?
You talked about Connor for about 5 minutes.
Is he playing?
I said I don't know how you can play Connor even if he plays because he's going to be in a split.
We said that. I was looking up free agents, and I'm like, wow, that guy's a free agent. I might have to play him. I'm going to take Case. Out of principle, I'm not picking Lloyd. He still has only made one move. I actually think Lloyd has a couple nice matchups this week. Getting Kenneth Walker is going to help him.
Fantastic.
I'll ride with you. I'll ride with you, Steve. I'm so sorry, Steve. I wasn't listening to anything you said.
Obviously not.
Sorry, Steve.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
That was good.
Sorry. That's my fault, everyone. I'll take the hit on that one. So I can't believe I
I
might
can't
have to
believe
play.
Steve didn't
I
talk
just
about
like
Connor.
you weren't paying attention, but you still went so like I'm surprised Steve didn't do it. Like you still had shots fired, even though you had no idea what you're talking about.
Guys, I right now have Mike Boone in on Monday night. Where did we get to? I have Mike Boone in. All right, Case, give us the recap of the picks. What do we all say? What do we do?
I'll take myself in the pick as well.
Oh, sorry, I'm with you. I picked you. I'm not picking Lloyd. Lloyd still only made one move in his Geno Smith. You can't do that.
I do think to be Lloyd is going to get big performance out of Kyle Pitts in his dumpster pick of the week. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that dumpster pick. Good pick. Pitts is a nice one. I like that.
Big.
All right, give us a recap, Case.
All right. We need to fill in some gaps here because I think Pete is the only one that picked a boom. So we're going to need to do this off the cuff. So coming at you, fellas.
Let's prepare anything.
Steve's my boom. Divito's my boom. Sorry. Divito's my boom. Divito's my boom.
Make that 2.
Whoa.
You further away from the microphone? That sounded funny.
Me?
Mike, it doesn't matter if you put that up.
I don't know.
Okay, in the first match,
I'm still surprised. I'm surprised that Divitto didn't talk about James Conner a lot. Go ahead, Case.
Where's the curtain, Mike? Where's the curtain?
Oh, I moved my seat. My curtain's over here. Hold on.
Now it's just a curtain on the wall.
Seen it.
Now it's just he has a random.
He's gonna do something here and disappear.
Yeah, Mike, can you please up there?
The curtain's right there. So now I just put this behind me so that I can sit on my desk and watch TV.
Wow, good for you.
Well, wait, the curtain's behind you. Wouldn't you face directly into the television?
Now there's just the curtain hanging in your room.
Well, now
whose jersey is that?
Yeah, who's jersey?
My wife put Brett Favre on the wall.
Get it?
Oh,
what an emasculate!
Oh,
an
Wes
emasculating
Welker.
thing to do.
Wes Welker.
Nice. All right, rounding out our picks for week 6. Can Divitto crack the 5-0? Not this week, fellas. In the first matchup, the toe versus the ta. We have Kaleli, Divitto on Divitto, DeLuca and Case on Divita. We have all three of us going DeLuca in the second matchup, with Divitto going against Pete for the first time in 15 weeks. Going Spates with the upset.
On Spates of all people, too, Steve.
We have an Innis sweep. We have a Breen sweep. And then we are split on the dumpster bowl. Kaleli and me are on myself. DeLuca and Divitto are on Lloyd for some reason.
What a party. I like it.
I like how
DeLuca's going to pick Lloyd like 6 straight weeks and then brag for like 4 weeks when Lloyd wins 1 game.
I'm waiting for him to hit one because it would be great. Doesn't seem to be affecting my standings, though. I think those are all Lloyd losses.
I think you might. Somehow you've lost 12 games and it's only 5 weeks and Lloyd's been all 12 of those losses.
I think so. It's my unwavering faith in Lloyd.
You only have 1 Lloyd loss this year, Pete.
Oh, last week?
I apologize, guys. I'm not really. Did you do the boom and stuff? Did you say who our boom and our lock was?
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I didn't. Kaleli, you picked Divitto to boom, DeLuca as your lock, and Innis as the upset.
Yep.
DeLuca, you went Divita to boom, DeLuca to lock, picked yourself as the lock, and Innis as the upset.
Yep.
Divitto picked himself to boom, Spates as the upset, and Breen as his lock. I went Breen Lock, Innis upset, DeLuca, boom. Don't mess with the over-motivated Pete DeLuca.
What is it?
I think you and I swapped places tonight, Case.
Highly motivated. Hyper motivated, highly motivated. I just sound like Chloe there, didn't I?
I think I'm just myself. Yeah.
That's it. All right, everyone. That's it. Week 6 previews here. Thankfully, this is my last week without DeAndre Hopkins and my last night of the week without Pete DeLuca. Sadly, I got to go say goodbye to everybody. Any last words before we sign off? Week 6,
I gotta. What's Sheila's take on Brett Favre?
Oh, she can't stand Brett Favre.
Really?
She also can't stand Aaron Rodgers anymore either. It's a very strange phenomenon.
Wait. She has a thing. She has a jersey hanging of him, but she can't stand him.
Oh yeah, that was like an old jersey. I think she just wanted to put it up because I had a Wes Welker jersey up, so it wasn't just a Patriots.
Nice. Okay. Never mind. All right.
That's it. Anybody else? Steve, you going pumpkin picking this weekend?
We talked about this last week. I went pumpkin and apple picking already.
No. You didn't tell us you went pumpkin picking. You said you only went apple picking.
This is like James Conner all over again.
I don't remember you.
Went to Tugas, apple and pumpkin.
All right, well, I didn't know you did.
Oh, you're blurring up. I think we're running out of time.
I didn't know we did pumpkin picking. I'm going to be watching the games this weekend, everyone. I'm going to be watching the game.
Nicole's going to Amsterdam Saturday.
Oh, get it.
Oh, Steve, we'll be up in Milford on Sunday.
No.
Wait, you guys going to watch the games together?
We'll be up in Milford on Sunday.
Luca
we have the big Casey Bowl this Friday. We have our fall game. The Bears at the Wildcats Saturday double dip in Providence.
You just said about 7 words that don't mean much to me. So why don't you contextualize what that is for the listeners in case they want to go?
We have a double dip Casey Bowl.
He hasn't been listening to anything.
I don't understand. Mike, there's a doubleheader preseason game between Brian's team and Kevin's team.
Fall game.
Thanks. For Brian, for the Cougars, whatever his team name is, for Steve in Amsterdam, for my numero uno, Pete. Let's get those W's, baby. Week 6. Let's go. Later.